Before this video even starts, let me ask you something real quick. What if I told you that the most secure prison ever built in American history was defeated? Not by violence, not by riots, but by patience, plastic raincoats, and human intelligence. Pause. Because what you're about to hear is not just a prison break story. It's a mystery that has haunted the United States for more than 60 years, and to this day, nobody can say for sure how it ended. Welcome back. Tonight, we're going to the middle of the Pacific Ocean, where cold water cuts like knives, winds never sleep, and escape was supposed to be impossible. This place wasn't just a prison. It was a warning to every criminal in America. They called it Alcatraz Island. But the men who lived there called it something else. They call it the Rock. Just 22 acres of solid stone sitting in open water, surrounded by freezing currents, violent waves, and distance that laughed at hope. No bridges, no tunnels, no mercy, and the rule was simple. Once you arrive here, you don't leave. In 1934, the U.S. government officially declared this place a federal prison, not because it was big, not because it was modern, but because it broke people. The ocean alone was considered enough security. Add 15-foot fences, armed guards, watching 24/7, locked steel doors, and isolation that messed with your mind. Officials openly said, even if someone escapes the cell, the sea will finish the job. And for years, they were right. No confirmed escape. No bodies reaching the mainland. No success stories. Until one night, July 12th, 1962. A night that changed everything. That morning, guards followed their routine. Same steps, same keys, same count. But when they reached Block B, something felt off. 3 inmates weren't responding. Guards walked closer. They saw bodies under blankets, heads resting on pillows. Normal. Until one guard reached out and touched one of the heads, and it fell. Hit the floor and shattered. Silence. What lay there wasn't a human head, but a fake one. A dummy, made from soap, toothpaste, plaster, and concrete dust, with real human hair stolen slowly, strand by strand. From the prison barber shop, that moment sent shockwaves through the prison, because it meant only one thing. 3 men had vanished, right under the noses of the most advanced prison security system on Earth. The escapees were not superior. They were not geniuses from movies. They were regular criminals. Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin. Men with rough pasts, broken childhoods, years behind bars. But they had one thing most prisoners didn't: time. Frank Morris had been in and out of prisons since his teenage years. He understood systems, patterns, weaknesses. The Anglin brothers grew up poor. They learned teamwork early, silence, trust. And then there was a 4th man, Allen West. He was supposed to escape too, but fate, or fear, left him behind. And that one mistake changed the entire investigation. Because Allen West talked, he revealed a plan so patient, so quiet, that it still shocks investigators today. Inside each cell was a small ventilation opening behind the sink, barely big enough for a hand. But Allen knew something guards didn't. He had worked maintenance. He knew the prison was old. The walls were weakened by salty air. The concrete was soft. Every day, during music hour, when the sound of accordions and harmonicas echoed through the block, these men used stolen spoons from the cafeteria. Spoons to slowly scrape concrete, night after night, month after month. They hid the holes with cardboard painted to match the wall. No alarms, no cameras back then. 2 full years of digging, and nobody noticed. Above their cells was an unused service corridor. No guards, no lights, just dust and pipes. That space became their secret workshop. There, they did something nobody believed was possible. They turned raincoats into survival gear. More than 50 rubber raincoats were stolen over time. Melted together using steam pipes, sewn by hand, they created an inflatable raft, a life vest, a makeshift paddle, all hidden in plain sight. On the night of the escape, they placed dummy heads in their beds, climbed through the wall openings, crawled into the corridor, climbed a ventilation pipe, reached the roof, and disappeared into the darkness. Alan Wist failed to remove the last concrete from his vent in time. By the time he broke free, they were gone. From the roof, the three men climbed down a kitchen pipe, slipped past the fence, inflated the raft, and pushed into the freezing water at 11:30 p.m. That was the last confirmed sighting. By sunrise, the prison was on lockdown. The FBI arrived. The Coast Guard searched the water. Helicopters scanned the surface. Nothing. No bodies. No raft. No clothes. Only one small piece of wood floating days later. And 2 raincoat fragments. The official conclusion: they drowned. The water was too cold. The currents too strong. But then, the story refused to die. Family members claimed strange sightings. Flowers delivered anonymously to the Anglin mother every Mother's Day. A postcard from Brazil, a photo taken in South America showing 2 men who looked a lot like John and Clarence. And one fact investigators couldn't ignore: nobody ever surfaced. In cold water, bodies usually float within days, weeks, past, months. Nothing. In 1979, the Federal Bureau of Investigation officially closed the case, declared it probable drowning. But another agency kept it open. Quietly, waiting. Because as long as there is no body, no proof, no confession, the escape remains unsolved. Today, Alcatraz is a tourist site. Families walk through Blockby, kids point at the cells, laughing. But behind those walls, a question still echoes. Did they drown, or did they beat the system? Somewhere, maybe 3 men lived free lives, or maybe the ocean claimed them. That answer may never come, and that's what makes this the most impossible prison break in history. If you stay till the end, you're not just a viewer, you're part of the mystery. Drop your thoughts below. Did they survive, or did the sea win? And remember, sometimes the greatest escapes don't leave footprints, they leave questions. We'll see you in the next story.